What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out something a little bit different, and that is Sir David Beckham, proud as he finally receives knighthood. The reason I wanted to check this out is because I realized that I've never actually seen someone knighted, and honestly, I don't really know what that exactly means.
Me either. Except for it adds Sir to your first.
See, I didn't even understand that until I put two and two together and realized Sir David Beckham, I bet that's what that means.
Yeah, that's the only thing I knew.
So all these famous people, a lot of times it's been musicians and whatnot, anytime they have Sir at the start of their name, that means they have been knighted, I guess.
I think so. Like, hasn't Elton John, Sir Elton John?
Yeah, Sir Elton John.
Sir Richard Branson.
Yeah. What's his name?
Sir David Attenborough?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's going to be a massive honor, but I wonder what that exactly means in terms of, like, you know, like, what does that make their, you know, stature to be within society, if you will. Like,
just more respect?
Yeah.
Or
I mean, obviously, I guess they were already very respected to get to the place of being knighted.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what you in the past have thought about the word knight, a knight, being knighted. But, like, for some reason, I always thought of it as, like, someone wearing, like, armor. Yeah.
Like battle.
Yeah, battle. Like, I don't know where that comes from.
Oh, and like Knights of the Round Table. You've heard of that, right?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
But, like, I just wonder if being knighted is the same thing now as it was, you know, 1,000 years ago.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I feel like at one point, correct us if we're wrong here, I think you agree with me that at one point it seems like it did have something to do with battle. You were a warrior.
Like certain rank or something.
Like, because anytime you think of a knight, you think of them wearing the armor, having the sword and whatnot. At least, or is that just something you see in the movies or something?
Yeah, maybe we're wrong.
I have no idea, guys, but not only am I interested to see just someone being knighted, but I also want to see a little bit about David Beckham. I know he is probably the most famous football star.
Yeah, like most well-known, I would say, by people who don't watch soccer.
Yeah, like I know of him, and I don't really know much about soccer or football.
Right.
And so,
I mean, wasn't there a movie like called Bend It Like Beckham or something a long time ago in the early 2000s?
Never heard of that.
I feel like there was. Maybe Keira Knightley was in it.
Keira Knightley.
She's English, so.
Yeah.
And then he's married to Posh Spice. I know that.
Oh, that's the main reason I know. That's right. See, I don't know the Spice Girls, so you love the Spice Girls growing up, so I don't know anything about them. But anyways, guys, enough rambling. Let's go in here and check out Sir David Beckham, proud as he finally receives knighthood.
Sir David Beckham, for services to sport and to charity.
I wouldn't say it's relief, I would just say it's pride. I think people know how patriotic I am. I think people know how much I love my country.
Oh, the King
when
does
you have a voice,
yeah.
you can make change, and it's lucky that I get to work with so many amazing children, and you want to make change for them.
You had a good chat in there.
Did you see that stool they kneeled on?
Yeah, I was really confused at first because I expected him to go down all the way. I was like, that doesn't seem... You would think... Being before the king, you would go down on your...
No, I was about to say the opposite. I recognize that for some reason. That's exactly the position I thought he would be in to get knighted. Yes. I don't know why that is. I don't know where I've seen that before. Yeah.
We did.
With the king. So can you tell us what you were talking about?
Well, actually, he was admiring my suit. And I actually said he was the inspiration, funnily enough. I looked at old pictures of him in his younger years, and because I know how elegant he dresses, and I just thought it was quite important for me to get it right. And my wife made the suit, so...
She made it?
I was very lucky.
Many, many congratulations.
I know she's really into fashion.
What the 14-year-old lad who signed for Man U would make of all of this.
Oh my goodness. I've held it together up until now, so that question's quite a difficult one. But I think that, you know, being an East London boy, you know, growing up in Leytonstone, moving to Manchester, and now stood here.
Wow, that's nice. You see the sword?
Almost reminds me of like the Medal of Honor or something like that people get.
Well, it doesn't look like the Medal of Honor.
No, I know, but I'm saying like the process. You know how, like, the president sometimes awards certain people.
Yeah.
Like, kind of reminds me of that a little bit.
Windsor Castle, with His Majesty the King giving me a knighthood is something that I could never have imagined happening to me. You know, my dream as a young boy was always to become a professional footballer, play for Manchester United and represent my country, and luckily enough I got to do that. But you know, everything else that has come with, you know, my career and what I've done, and obviously the philanthropic work that I do, you know, I think that that's what's special about today. It's not just because of my sport, it's because of the philanthropic work that I've done from a very early age. I think I was talking about it last night with my parents, that I think I started, you know, charity work when I was 15, 16 at Manchester United, and then obviously went on to, you know, become UNICEF ambassador and working for the Royal Foundation and, you know, the King's Foundation and Malaria No More and the Armed Forces. So, you know, I've been very lucky to work for very important charities around the world. And, you know, I think one of the things that I recognised when I was very young is, you know, because I had a successful career, I was able to implement change with the things that I said and the things that I got involved in. And I think that's why the charity work that I do is so important to me. But, you know, the 14-year-old boy from East London standing here in the castle with His Majesty the King, it's a very proud moment for me and my family.
Wow. Look at that. I bet that is a really proud moment.
I bet it would be surreal.
You know, you do. He brings up a point. You know, you think about like you as a child and like how
the dreams you had. As
yeah, and you could never. If you go back to that moment as a 14-year-old, for example, you can never, in your wildest dreams, probably picture you would actually have this whole ride that someone like him, particularly the success he's had in sports, obviously, and now being knighted. Like,
did you catch how he said, "Luckily it happened"? I don't think it was luck. I think he had put a lot of hard work into fulfilling his dream.
Absolutely, I think there's always some luck.
I'm just saying that shows his humbleness. I think.
Absolutely, yeah. But like with any major success, there's going to be at least. It's mostly hard work, but there's going to be little bits and pieces of luck.
Meeting the right people, having the right connections.
Maybe lucky to be born into the family, into the area you're born, whatever. But like, it's almost always hard luck because people coming from the worst, harsh backgrounds can actually find major success. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You grew up in a family that adored the royal family. So how special for you to have your parents here as well today?
Like, I think that obviously, you know, when I was last honoured for my OBE, I brought my grandparents, and that was very special because the royal family have played a huge role in our family over the years, and we know how important our royal family is, and you know, it's the most important institution in the world and the most respected institution in the world. So to be stood here today, being honoured as an East End boy, you know, and to have done what I've done and be able to work, you know, with the charities that I've worked with and played with the teams that I've played with and the players that I've played with and the managers that I've played under. And I also want to thank the British people as well, because, you know, with their support over the years, it's been it's one of the reasons why I'm here today. So it's a big moment.
And you've been a role model, particularly for young men, for a very long time, but does this almost make it more, you know, make it more of a role model now that you've got this honour?
Like, I think someone just asked me a question about is it time to slow down and is there any more to do? And actually, no, it's time to.
How old is he? I don't think he's that old, is he? Maybe 50 or something?
More because you know, my work with the charities that I work with, unfortunately, will never end, because you know, we're trying to, you know, secure children's futures and their safety around the world, and unfortunately, there's always a crisis and there's always something that's happening. So my work with charities will never end, and with everything else, you know, I think there's a responsibility that comes with, you know, being honoured and becoming a Sir, but I've already known that responsibility for a long time, for a number of years. I think that when I became a professional footballer, when I became England captain, you know, when I became a father, when I became a husband, you know, the responsibilities change and they get bigger, and I understand those responsibilities. But you know, today is a moment to kind of reflect, and I very rarely reflect on my past career and the things that I've done, but I think I will take today and savour this moment because it's a very special moment.
And you had a little pop at Victoria in the documentary for never having designed something for you.
I know. Look at. I know it's very good. And one of the King's comments were, you know, wow, that's a beautiful suit. So I didn't get the opportunity to say my wife made it, and I'm sure she'll make you one. But I will at some point. You know, I will make that point. But yeah, it's a very special moment, and obviously to have Victoria here and my mum and dad, and you know, it's a very proud day for them.
There's been years and years of speculation and rumour, you know, if, when will this happen? There must be a bit of relief as well as all the pride that you're feeling.
I wouldn't say it's relief, I would just say it's pride.
Is that posh spice?
Yeah.
People have talked about it for a number of years, and I always felt so lucky to have, you know, the honour that I already had with the OBE, and I do feel, you know, very lucky to have that. But obviously to be recognised now as a
proud
sir,
moment for his
you know,
parents, I'm sure.
It's very special, but there's not really relief. It's just I couldn't be prouder because I think people know how patriotic I am. I think people know how much I love my country. I've always made that point. I've always said how important the monarchy has been, you know, to our family over the years. And like I said, I'm lucky enough to travel around the world and go to different places around the world, and everywhere I go, all people want to talk about is our monarchy and how great they are and how respected they are. So, you know, it makes me very proud, and I've always flown our flag wherever I've lived, wherever I've gone, and I'll continue to do that.
How are you going to celebrate? Are you sticking around, or have you got to rush back to the bees and the chickens?
Oh no, the chickens and the bees are okay for a few days, so I'll take today. We'll have a nice lunch with my parents and my kids, and then maybe a nice dinner tonight.
Your life has already been so multifaceted. Is there anything that you haven't yet explored that you might like to? Politics, maybe? Your senior leadership in England football?
Don't do it.
I've always stayed away from politics. I continue to stay away from it because I think there's more equipped people, maybe that can do and make those decisions. But
I was going to say the opposite. The people who usually get into politics, unfortunately, tend to be the ones that are least equipped for it. Yeah, people like. I don't know him personally, but the way he
people
seems
who
to be...
actually love their country and want to see good happen.
Yeah, like...
aren't usually the ones who have the power.
No, people usually, not always, but I'd say the majority of people get in politics do it because they want to line their pockets.
Yeah,
at least you're in America.
Yeah.
Probably around the world. But people that actually want to actually do good for their country usually aren't the ones that actually
end up
go
in
into
office,
it. Yeah.
You know, like I said, you know, there's a lot more to do and a lot more things that I want to be involved in and make changes with, because I think that's one of the things that I said earlier is I realised very early on, quite a young age, that, you know, people listen to me, and people listen to me because of my career and the things and the teams that I've played for, and when you have a voice, you can make change, and it's lucky that I get to work with so many amazing children, and you want to make change for them.
Look at that back there.
Well, it sounds like it was well-deserved.
Yeah.
Sounds like he does a lot for the UK and possibly the world, so...
Wow. Okay.
I didn't know all that about him. I just knew of him, you know.
Yeah, I knew nothing
and
of him.
He played football back in the day.
Yeah, well, back in the day, I thought he was still playing football. I don't know anything about this. I just know the name. I know he's just one of those like sports players, like
iconic.
LeBron James, Kobe, Bryant, Michael Jordan, you know, that type of thing. He's just one of the greats at what he does. But it sounds like he's doing things that are even greater than on the field at this point.
Which is really cool.
I have no idea what charities he does, but obviously it sounds like
a lot with children. So
yeah. So hey, man, you know, respect to him.
Yeah.
Seems like a good dude. You know, I definitely want to look into football. You know, sometime.
Ooh, it would be interesting to see like a compilation of like his greatest moments or something.
Yeah. Because we don't really know much about football.
No.
We haven't seen a lot. It's just not. It's one of the more popular sports here, but it's not on the level of like basketball or American football. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but football is the most popular sport around the world.
Well, oh, soccer.
Soccer.
Okay,
Yeah,
I was like,
football.
American football?
No, not American football. Why would American football be?
That's why I was confused.
But this was really interesting, guys. I still don't quite grasp what
knighthood is.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably just a title. I don't think
like a ceremonial acknowledgement of your achievement and greatness, I guess.
Yeah, probably. Let us know in the comments, guys, if there is any sort of like special. What does this mean for him, in other words? Like does anything in his life change? Or is it just like a title, like, just shows a level of respect? Maybe it's a title that basically shows that you contributed to the country or the world in some positive manner. I don't really know.
Show of honor.
Yeah, maybe it wouldn't be the equivalent of the Medal of Honor. The Medal of Honor is something military, but you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's something that shows like...
not the Nobel Peace Prize, but like similar, maybe.
Because obviously he's doing some really good things, and I remember they said at the beginning, like, you finally got it. So obviously this is something that's supposedly been
people were
expecting for a long period of time, because he's done so many great things, I guess. Anyways, guys, as you can see, we don't really know the ins and outs of this, so please enlighten us to what all this means and what it actually takes for someone to actually get knighted.
Yeah. Because,
as I said, in my head, it's always seemed like, you're in battle, you got the armor on, and you have a sword. Like, I don't know if that's just a movie thing or if that's just how it used to be. But anyways, guys, I think that's it for us today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow us on our journey. Until next time, peace.